Good morning, welcome to GrainTV. Today's April 23rd, 2012. I'm Logan Burgess. To my right is Brock Shimno. Brock, one thing that should be supportive to the grains here in the early going is that we did see export sales reported this morning to unknown destinations. 165,000 metric tons of old crop soybeans, 120,000 metric tons of new crop corn. So that'll certainly be a little bit supportive here on the early going. We had kind of a mixed trade in the overnight session. One fundamental piece, though, that we're going to be seeing coming out this afternoon is crop progress. What are we kind of expecting out of that report?
A poll of about 11 analysts actually projected crop planting progress to be about 29% complete this week. If you take a look at our chart here, we're looking at about 30% complete. The red line is what we're projecting for ourselves here. If you look at 2011, the yellow line, we're well ahead of that pace. And our average for the last 5 years is the blue line, so we're actually ahead of that pace as well. The record pace for this week would be 50% complete, so we're a little bit behind that, but we are quickly advancing through this corn planting season.
Yeah, Brock, well, it looks like we are well ahead of, on average, where we are and well ahead of where we were last year. Certainly one thing that's kind of helped that out is drier soil conditions than what we saw last year, especially in the western Corn Belt. Almost too dry, though, this year has been the case in some areas. If you take a look here, that northwestern Iowa, southern Minnesota area, it is in a bit of a drought right now. As we can see, though, from this map, soil moisture capacity has improved there over the last week. If you look at this map here, 100 would be fully saturated soil. And, this area of northwestern Iowa was in the 60s last week, so it looks like some moisture did come into those areas. That'll be important to keep an eye on here moving forward. What are we kind of expecting here, though, over the next week?
Yeah, those areas of northern Iowa and southern Minnesota did get some beneficial rains this last week, but looking forward, doesn't look like a whole lot of more than anticipated precipitation will be coming to those areas, especially out east in the eastern Corn Belt, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. They should be able to move pretty quickly through their planting. Looks like it's going to be drier than average for the next 6 to 10 days.
Yeah, Brock, well, I guess staying kind of dry out east, but it looks like there should be some moisture coming into the Dakotas. We saw them pick up some good corn acres in that March 30th report, so that'll be a good thing to keep an eye on here. If we look kind of out further, out to May 4th here, kind of the situation should stay the same as what we see over the next week. As you can see, very dry, or drier than normal out east here. If we look out west into that central plains area, it looks like we should get some very good moisture in areas of that northern Texas panhandle, areas of Oklahoma and Kansas. More moisture for this Kansas City wheat crop, which is off to a great start here so far.
Yeah, especially in that panhandle area of Oklahoma and Texas. They've been hurting for moisture over the last year or so, and they plant a lot of cotton and hardwood winter wheat there, so it's going to be beneficial for those crops to get some extra moisture.
Certainly, we'll keep an eye on that. It'll be interesting to see the good to excellent rating on that Kansas City wheat crop in this afternoon's crop progress report. We'll keep you posted on that. When that report comes out, we'll be tweeting about it at GrainTV is where you can find us. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come back for the market open.
GrainHedge is more than just futures trading. Clients receive our cash grain optimizer showing spot and forward bids within 200 miles of your farm. We take into account your trucking costs to find your best selling opportunity. We provide in-depth basis mapping, historical basis and cash price charting. Every day we show you your best price and if it meets your profit goals. Contact GrainHedge today to get started.
Welcome back to GrainTV. The markets are open in Chicago, so let's turn over to the FireTip trading software for the live quotes. Old crop corn is up 3 cents, new crop is up 1 1/4, soybeans down 3 cents, Chicago wheat is up 8 1/2, and Kansas City is up 8 1/2 as well. On Friday, Logan, we saw a large positive gain for the soybean complex. A couple of rumors were flying around the market. What was going on in the soybean market?
Yeah, Brock, well, those rumors really were pushing the soybean complex higher. As we said on Friday, there were rumors that China was back in the old crop soybean market. There were also rumors that there were issues getting Brazilian soybeans to market. Obviously, these are both going to be very bullish for price action in the U.S. here. And take a look here at this daily soybean chart for May delivery. As you can see here, here's this candlestick that we printed on Friday. We traded up to about 1454 in Friday's action. The settlement was actually down around 1446. So we still had a hard time getting above that 1450. But, if we really get more bullish news in this market, it could push this thing higher. If we zoom out here, this is kind of the area where we saw highs printed back at the end of last summer here before the big sell-off in the soybean market.
Yeah, something to keep in mind as it pertains to the soybean contract is that managed money is carrying a net long position. We saw the commitment of traders report come out on Friday. Did we see any changes from the managed money funds?
So, not really any big changes in Friday's report, Brock. The commitment of traders report does come out on Friday, and it looks back at the market composition of Tuesday of that week. So it certainly is a lagging indicator, but it can be important to keep an eye on here as far as where the funds are sitting in the market here. And as you said, they are extremely net long right now. They did add to their net long in last week's report, but by a smaller amount than we have seen them do since January 31st of this year. So, the pace at which they're adding to this net long is substantially slowing down. And as we can see here, if we look back to about September of last year, when the soybean market, or when the when the funds decided to become sellers in this market, this is what really helped push this thing lower last fall. Kind of keep an eye on this here moving forward. When soybeans go out of vogue with the funds, they could become big time sellers in this market here.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter. At GrainTV is where you'll find us. We'll be tweeting about crop progress this afternoon. You can check us out on Facebook, or you can get a hold of us at 877-472-4607. Have a good rest of your Monday.